There's only one thing that keeps you going. The reason that brought you here in the first place.
Which is?
Different for everyone.
What was it for you?
I fell in love with the water.
And you?
I fell in love with an Aes Sedai.
You always make me feel like the third wheel.
What can I say except welcome back, you abomination? Hail and howdy, my friends. I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome to my review of Wheel of Time Season 2. That is right. This desecration, this abomination, this insult to Robert Jordan's great works is back. Delayed for a very long time, hidden for a very good reason, because this show is complete and utter trash. And if you are a part of what we call, I guess on the interwebs, Twitter of Time, if you are a broken fan who exists in cognitive dissonance and slurps up this show because you know it's bad and they're never going to get another one if you talk bad about it, you can move along now. You can move along. This review is not for you. It's just going to go make you cry in a corner. I'm not here for you. I'm here for real fans who don't want to watch this, who have made the deal with me that I watch it so they don't have to, and can understand that it is bad. Really, really bad. You know why it's bad? Very simple reason. It is not Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. We are not talking about the events in the books. And this is going to be a weird season to cover. Why? Last season was a little easier because there was at least the shell of Eye of the World around season 1, and it was very easy to point out this is wrong, that is wrong, this is bad, these characters aren't behaving properly, yada, yada, yada. This season, we are off book. We are essentially completely off book. We are off the rails into the wilderness. We are in complete bad fan fiction territory. This first episode has no resemblance whatsoever to The Great Hunt, which is supposed to be the second book in the saga and what this season is supposed to be roughly based on. And I bet you're wondering, Adam, are the characters any better? No, they're not. They are not any better. In fact, they're even worse because they're behaving in situations that they weren't intended to really be in, especially a couple of them. We're going to get there. Oh, and I'm going to tell you this now. The actual main character of the entire story, Rand al'Thor, the Dragon Reborn, appears 40 minutes in of this 58-odd minute episode for all of a couple of seconds. That's right. Rand isn't even in the premiere. Wow. It gets worse, much, much worse, but I don't want to delay it any longer. We are going to break this down very similarly to the way we did it last season, because the showrunners or the directors, they have very helpfully still divided this show into moronic tiny little segments focused on these so-called characters. We're going to go by each one because they're very easily separated and talked about, and very quickly in some cases. I'm going to talk about it one at a time, and we're going to end with the appropriate one that kind of leads into the end of the episode. We're going to go with Perrin, then we're going to go with Egwene and Nynaeve and everything going on in Tar Valon, and then Lan and Moraine. That's it. And there's a little bit of Matt in there too. New Matt, who has a big problem. We're going to get there. Oh, what a disaster. And I love it. Thank you for proving me right before we even got started. And just to see, so you know, until I just watched this, I hadn't seen anything. I hadn't watched a clip. I don't look at spoilers because I want to come into this fresh. I want to be assaulted without knowing what I'm about to find. So you're getting my fresh, unready take on this. Oh, I hate this. I hate this with the passion of 1,000 suns. All right, no more delays. Let's get started.
One who was and will be, but is not yet the dragon. Rand Althor, you released me at the eye of the world, and he thinks he can hide. He cannot.
Well, here we are. The prologue. The bastardization begins right here. In the original Great Hunt, there is a scene like this where a bunch of dark friends are gathering to hear what Bal Alzamon has to say. It's Ishi pretending to be the Dark One. He's still in this pretending to be the Dark One, but it's not quite right. And they all receive their orders, yada yada. But in this one, we start off with a little girl playing outside until she's attacked by really bad CGI Trollocs. She runs inside to her mother, who's apparently a dark friend at this table. And while she's under the table, we get a glimpse at a bunch of dark friends with very telling features. One, we see the long super nails of Ascension, which completely breaks the lore. No Ascension is an active dark friend, at least in my memory. I don't remember that. Not real. And the absurdly long fingernails, we'll probably get more of that in a later season. Then for a moment, we see an Aes Sedai serpent ring. It's a black Aja. Somebody there. It's probably Chinny McChin-Chin. Probably her, Leandra, and that's supposed to be her storyline, not the one we get in this. We see somebody else with a Faldaran banner. Anyway, as we listen to, as you saw in the transition clip there, Ishi is talking about Rand. That's all the Rand you're going to really get in this. How they have to get him. Do we kill him? No, we can turn him. Yes, that's actually a part of the thing. The desire to turn the dragon to the cause of the Dark One, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, suddenly the little girl is stopped when Ishi bends down and talks to her, coaxes her out from under the table, and begins to give a speech about how, do I look like a monster to you? Do you understand bad things? We're not all bad, blah, blah, blah. And as he carries her outside while preaching to her about what's a monster or not, you see Padan Fain. Padan Fain is at this meeting. Padan Fain, who in the actual Great Hunt has the Horn of Valir and the dagger, the Shadow Logoth dagger, and is completely on the run from the Faldarans, Rand, Mat, and Perrin. Oh, no. Apparently he's at this meeting, which means Ishi should have the Horn of Valir. Do you understand the problem with Padan Fain being at this meeting? Because also Padan Fain at this point is an unwilling, he's an unwilling servant. After the events at Shadar Logoth, he wants to be his own master, and he's something more than what the Dark One turned him into. He's something that can kill a Fade. And you see that represented in the Great Hunt. But no, in this one, he's still a happy little dark friend who has arrived. He's at the meeting because that's the story they're telling. Anywho, Ishi continuing to ramble about what's good, what's not. Do you understand that just because somebody says something's a monster doesn't make it a monster, blah, blah, blah. Takes a little girl outside, has her pet a Trolloc, while saying, I like you. I knew I liked you. Isn't this a beautiful creature? It's not a monster. Look. Retarded. But now we move on to the real retard. Perrin. Perrin, who has Mat's storyline. Ha!
I keep seeing this image of him waving to my wife and Layla. Big smile on her face, waving right back. And in return for all of that kindness, he brought the Trollocs to our door.
Right. Let's start off with this sad son of a bitch. Race swapped Perrin, because that's what he is. Race swapped Perrin. Oh, yeah, I'm coming back to that constantly. Race swapped Perrin, who isn't in his own story. We don't have Perrin's story anywhere in sight, because Perrin has been given Mat's story, Rand's story, chasing the Horn of Valir. See, in the original Great Hunt, at the end of the Eye of the World, when Padan Fain escapes with the Horn of Valir, which had the Well, actually, he escapes the beginning of the story. See, gotta take a moment here. Padan Fain was captured with others at the end of Eye of the World, and he escapes in the Great Hunt. Slaughters people. There's no Trolloc attack. He doesn't open the doors. He escapes, and he takes the horn and the dagger with him, because they were keeping the dagger in the box with the horn and the seal and all that good stuff. Anyway, in the book, he's gone. Rand, who wants to get away from the Aes Sedai, decides to go chase after it because he needs to help Matt, because Matt is still attached to the dagger at this point. You see, nobody sucked out the blackness from him in the actual story. Matt is still linked to the dagger, and the only way that can be undone is if he's taken to Tar Valon and a full circle of sisters heal him. But no. Moraine sucked all the bad out of him last season, just like that. So his story was over. Matt, gone. Rand, not to be seen. At the end of last season, therefore, it was all given to Perrin, who hadn't even really started his own story. No dichotomy between axe and hammer. No, now I'm Perrin. I'm searching for the horn and the dagger. Or just the horn, because the dagger doesn't mean shit anymore. It's meaningless. It's pointless. Perrin's sitting here in this abomination of a work, writing letters to Nynaeve and Egwene at Tar Valon. And I want to know, because it's going to come around later, he's putting information in these letters that nobody should know about! I'll come back to it when we get to Egwene and Nynaeve. Anywho, he's sitting here, writing his letters, thinking about things, and here comes Loial. Okay, so when we left things at the end of last season, Loial and basically everybody else in this Shineran party were ganked by the dagger. They should all be dead. Nope, just fine. It's 5 months later. Everybody's doing all right. Loial comes over, says, "Oh, are you still writing your letters? Oh, Ingtar has a new tracker. Let's go meet a new tracker." We're going to go meet a new tracker. And on the way to new tracker, we have everybody make fun of Uno for a little while. Ha ha ha, there you go. Moving on, because that's all it is. Pointless filler bullshit in a show that was so pressed for time that they couldn't possibly cover all the proper events of the books, yet they can create fan fiction episodes. They're going to draw this out a lot. That happens a lot in this episode. They draw things out. It's very boring. Not a lot happens. Anywho, instead of meeting the proper sniffer, Huron, from the books, it's Elias Machira. Hey, race swapped Elias Machira. Former warder turned wolf brother. Yes. Last season, we should have had Elias beginning Perrin's storyline of joining and being a part of the wolves. Now, nope. Sorry. Not really happening. Now he's the sniffer because he's a wolf man. Unlike the actual Huron in the book, who has an old blood ability to just sense the bad in somebody, smell bad, and hunt them down and turn them over to the authorities. That's the actual thing. But no. No. It's all right. Never mind. This is a new version. You have to accept this TV version. Just accept it for what it is. A bastardization. They meet Elias, who has all of 3 or 4 lines, and proceeds to show them this camp where Padan Fain, who somehow was here, yet made it to the meeting with Ishii, but he was there not too long ago. And according to him, there was a slaughter, and now Perrin's eyes go all wolfy gold, and he can see the events as they happened. He can see the events. Oh, I watch a little girl get killed. Yay! Because that's how wolf powers work. No, that's not how it works at all. Right. We move on. We take a break. By the time we come back to them, they're burying the dead Shinerans who held Padan Fain, and Perrin's asking Ingtar, "How can you bury these men who betrayed you and let everybody killed?" And then we get a nice big speech. I showed you it in the transition clip, a part of it, of Perrin, how There's a rage building in him when he thinks of Padan Fane and how he used to be such a nice man, waving to his wife. Remember, Perrin had a wife in this one. Perrin was married. I know. How Padan Fane came into their village and slaughtered everybody, brought the Trollocs into life, and Perrin doesn't know what he's gonna do. If he sees Fane, he's gonna rage out. You see, this would make sense at all if we'd started the axe versus hammer dichotomy of Perrin's storyline. Will you be the axe-wielding monster, the uncontrolled beast who will just slay things? Or will you be the builder with the hammer who will build and fix things and control the beast within? Nope, sorry, that's not here. He's actually just carrying a sword in his waist, no axe in sight, no dichotomy in sight, and this is their attempt to wedge that in there when they should have started that last season. Nope, sorry, that's it. And that's it for Perrin in this episode. We're done. Yep. So, just recap. Perrin is chasing Padan Fane in place of Rand and Matt's storyline for that, because now he just has the Horn of Valyr. No dagger, no nothing. No, that's it. That's supposed to be Rand and Matt's storyline, chasing the horn along with Perrin. Perrin's there, but it's really Rand and Matt's storyline because Matt needs the dagger to survive. Rand wants to get the dagger to save his friend, and also they want to get the horn. But there, isn't this fun? No. All right, let's move on to Moly and Ugly.
You can either embrace what you are or fear it. Egwene is strong, stronger than most. But you have 10 times that power, Nynaeve, whether you want it or not.
Let's join the ladies at Tar Valon, shall we? Let's join this bastardized version with Mograine and Ugnieve in their daily lives and the trials and tribulations they go through. Life of a novice. Egwene gets her daily chores underway. First, she's cleaning up the Emerlin's quarters. We take a moment where she stares at the Emerlin's dress where they have what's supposed to be the shawl of all the colors. Instead, it's a nice big, broad, stupid-looking collar, alluding to the fact that one day Mograine will be Emerlin's seat. She will be the Emerlin. Let's move on. Take note, she's dumping a lot of goop into a bucket over and over again as she's cleaning up. She enters Alana's quarters, not knowing that Alana and her bisexual duo warders are having smecks. Yes, the snoo is happening. Egwene, who is not a prude, she had a lot of snoo with Rand last season, even though that's not how their relationship was in the books. They had a lot of sex, so why is she so embarrassed at seeing the bisexual duo plow Alana at the same time? Yes, again, that's happening. They have to remind us that there's two bisexual warders. I say wardens because I think of Dragon Age, warders who live a lifestyle that forced another warder who lost his Aes Sedai to kill himself because he didn't want to be a part of their weird sexual play with Alana. Remember that? I do. It's funny. Egwene runs out of the room. We see her take a little tour through the tower, watching warders train, blah-de-blah. Arrives in the kitchens where Nynaeve, God, she's ugly, and a bunch of other novices are doing the dishes. We get a nice little exchange between Nynaeve and Egwene about the life of a novice, how it sucks, how that's all they do is chores. But it builds character. We shouldn't be doing this. There should be more to this. They haven't taught us anything. Blah, 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 blah. Let's forget the fact that Nynaeve was automatically accepted because they when they arrived immediately in the books, she took her accepted trial immediately. She didn't sit there for 5 months as a novice. Yes, later on, as punishment, she was forced to do novice chores even as an accepted, but she was automatically an accepted. You understand that? Nope, 5 months a novice. 5 months a novice. We get the big reveal. She has her blockage problem. She's got a blockage. She's backed up. She's not eating enough fiber. She can't get out the one power. This whole thing is now, this next part of the scene where Alana comes in and talks to him about weaves. It's more it's more of an attempt to show us how great Nynaeve is. Telling us how brave you are, how powerful you are. All the affirmation we need to know how great you are. You're so strong. You're so great. You just need to let go. You need to open up the flower. They finally bring in the flower metaphor for opening up to cider. No, it doesn't matter anymore because you already ruined cider and Sidon last season when you combine them into one. They still don't call it properly. They still only talk about the one power as just one thing, not the two different halves. They still haven't fixed that. You had a chance, but you didn't. This whole thing about here, a test, you have to clean the water using the big bucket of water I mentioned that Mole Gwaine was carrying around. You have to clean the water and drink it. You can't leave till you drink it. Nynaeve can't do it. She can't get her blockage out. So she just drinks the nasty water and leaves. I know. Now we cut to a meeting of diverse Aes Sedai. I think that's Sheriam Sedai. I don't know. They don't call her that. I think it is the old one. Remember, they don't have the actual Aes Sedai aegis here. It's just a bunch of ugly old women all over the place. Ugly, diverse women, including a bald one. There's a bald one in here. I don't remember anybody but Senshin doing the bald thing. I don't remember that. Everybody else has hair. And I have to mention the hair is a problem here. Nynaeve shouldn't have her braid or braids all in one. Because you're not allowed to style your hair how you want to as a novice or an accepted until you're an Aes Sedai. You're not allowed to. It's part of the rules. But nope. Lord be damned. Anywho, this diverse meeting of Aes Sedai are discussing Nynaeve's blockage and what can they do to unblock her blockage. Blockage. Chinny McChin Leandrin wants a shot at it, but she's not allowed to have any accepted or novices under her care because she killed one once. Whatever. Eventually, though, they say, fine, you can just talk to her. Maybe it'll help. Meanwhile, Nynaeve's personal help is training with the warders. That's right. I showed you this in the opening section of the review, the opening clip. She's having sword training with the bisexual duo because we have to be reminded that they're bisexual. Because it's allies. Inclusion. She's training with swords, though. This is so retarded. Nynaeve, that's not Nynaeve. Nynaeve doesn't run around wielding a sword. She doesn't even want to kill. She only does it as self-defense. We have this big speech about why are you here. You're only going to relieve your blockage when you drink enough fiber and understand why you're here. That's all that is about. And to remind us that there's a bisexual warder duo plowing Alana on a daily basis. And that one of them feels left out. Eventually, when we come back to them, because remember, we're jumping around the show here. Nynaeve is back in the kitchen, actually trying to relieve her blockage and clean the water. Here comes Chinny McLeandrin, who starts to basically bully her into relieving her blockage. It's all done so that we can see Nynaeve have a rage moment and tap into the one power. Also, Leandrin can tell her, if you embrace the dark side, that's a way to finding power. That's right! These morons, Rafe Poo Judkins and his band of merry idiots, have decided to introduce the Force into Wheel of Time. If you give in to your anger, you can access the one power as easily as giving in to your love for it. Isn't that fun? Basically, Chinny McLeandrin is telling her, give in to the dark side to use the one power. That's your path to one power, Nynaeve. Use the dark side. Give in to your anger. Yay! Isn't that just fucking retarded? Gets more retarded because here we cut eventually where Nynaeve goes looking for Egwene in the middle of the night, but Egwene's gone to see Alana for some reason. Alana in her room, sensually eating food. Egwene's going there for a lesson about weaves, how she's having trouble combining them, but Alana turns it into a sexual metaphor about getting plowed by her bisexual warders. Got to be reminding of that over and over again. Egwene, now being a prude, runs away, returns back to the room where she has a good cry with Nynaeve over a letter from Perrin. Perrin, who, as I said earlier, is writing letters to them, talking about the Horn of Valyr all the time, which shouldn't be done. It's supposed to be top secret information. Can't be out there that the horn is loose and the Great Hunt is a sham. Can't have that. They have a good cry over Belton. Happy Belton. I miss Rand. I miss Matt. I miss Perrin. Remember, Egwene is having the dirty dozen with Rand in this one. They're not just childhood friends who thought they loved each other but really don't. No. They're doing the hunky-junky all the time on tavern tables, in back rooms. That's a thing. Remember that. That's a thing in this. Remember, Nynaeve has also gotten plowed by Lan. No proper build-up in their relationship where she has to finally accept his love and her love as part of emotion, which is what truly releases her blockage. No. They've already banged on the first date, no less. They've already done the dirty deed. I'm getting off topic. I'm sorry. I'm just reminding you how bad this is. Nynaeve and Egwene read a letter from Perrin, missing everybody. And while they're reading the letter, it mentions Perrin misses Matt. Matt, and I'm including this in this scene because there's no other way to put it, Matt, who's being held prisoner by Leandrin McChinny-Chin. Leandrin McChinny-Chin is holding Matt prisoner for some reason. He cries a lot, begs her to let him out, that he's not attached to the knife. She keeps him locked up and reads the letter telling him no one misses him. She's reading Perrin's letter where the Horn of Valyr is mentioned. See now why that's a problem? Because she's a dark friend. She's the Black Aja. Reading that, Matt cries a lot and is left alone. Yet when we come back to him during a montage of Happy Beltane, he's slowly digging his way out. I guess Matt's gonna escape from Tar Valon by cutting a hole in a wall with a little shiv. That's great. Matt is there for some reason. They mention Rand. We miss Rand. And this is at the 40-minute mark now. This is the 40-minute mark of the 58-minute episode. We see Rand for 2 seconds hanging a Beltane lantern. And that's it. Hi, Rand. Bye, Rand. Bye. They hug. They montage. That's it. We're done with the ladies. Did you have fun? I didn't. Now it's time for fake Moraine and crybaby Lan.
I'll have my dinner up here tonight.
Make it yourself. And have it wherever you want.
Moraine and Lan. This is perhaps the most bastardized section of this episode and probably this season, next to Rand. We haven't gotten to Rand yet. Again, no Rand in this episode. Probably coming in episode 2. I have that to look forward to today as well. Lan and Moraine's entire arc they're setting up here is pure fan fiction. In the real story, she doesn't lose her powers. She follows Rand. She protects Rand. I mean, yeah, she gives him some space in Great Hunt. Honestly, she's not even in the Great Hunt after the early chapters. She's gone. She doesn't appear till the end. It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous that they're force-feeding a character who has a real storyline that at one point seemingly ends tragically and is based around self-sacrifice. What we're seeing here, this isn't self-sacrifice. This is self-pitying. This is pathetic and sad, combined with Lan, who is also pathetic and sad. We open with Moraine carrying buckets of water back to the place she's staying at. I'll get to that in a minute, where she's staying, so she can have a hot bath. And then we get to see her in the bath crying and be sad because she can't heat the water because she's cut off from the one power. Remember, Ishii, in this bastardized version of the story, cut her off. Didn't still her, just cut her off. So we have to watch her have a good cry. And we have to watch Lan, the most stoic, unemotional man possibly in literary history, work to control his emotions through sword training. Yep. And we then watch Moraine busy body about an office, cutting herself off from those she's staying with. Apparently now, we're introduced to Diversity Varon. That's right, Varon Sedai. Diversity Varon. Old, fat Diversity Varon is living off in the middle of nowhere with some other Aes Sedai who I don't know who the hell she is. Who the fuck is this? I don't know. But they're living in the middle of nowhere. No, Varon, as opposed to being a part of the tower and being inquisitive, Varon who seeks knowledge and is really hardcore at her base, but is so focused on stuff that doesn't have good people skills. No, this Varon, she's emotional. She can give wise, sage advice. But Diversity Varon is interacting with Aes Sedai, other Diversity Aes Sedai, whoever the fuck this is, I don't know. Talking to Lan as they come over. How's Moraine doing? Moraine's doing, I don't know. She's not talking to me. I'm having a manufactured problem with Moraine. We have a manufactured issue between Lan and Moraine where they're not on the same page, where they're at odds with each other. Because Moraine is shutting herself off and closing off from everybody. Oh, you have to understand. When you're cut off from the one source, it hurts you deep inside. Anywho, somebody arrives, a gentleman. Bail Domon. Oh, Bail Domon. Yeah, the captain of a river ship. Sorry, it's not a raft, a river ship, which was supposed to be introduced last season when Rand and Matt were supposed to be on the run, and he helps them out on the river. No, he's now introduced as simply a merchant on a barge who is trying to sell Moraine information she's interested in. Yeah, we get a whole big conversation over several scenes between Bail Domon and Moraine about Heartstone. Oh, you want the Heartstone? No, she really just wanted a letter and suckers him out of the letter for 1 gold mark. There you go. That's it. To make him look like a stupid white man who can't play the great game. Because the Aes Sedai invented the game. Oh, they get it so wrong. He gets ushered out. She reads the letter and is very disturbed by it. We finally get back to Lan, having a moment in the field with unnamed Diversity Sedai Warder. I keep saying Warden. I'm sorry, Warder. Having a conversation about, you'll find your connection again. It's so boring and bland and not happening. Even I just blanked it out. Moving on. Lan goes to see Moraine in the office, the study where she's researching, and they have a very tense conversation about, why are you hiding? Why are you pushing me away? I don't want to be pushed away. Let me in. No, I'm not going to talk to you. Manufactured drama in this arc that doesn't exist. That's why you can feel how bad this is, because these people, these morons writing this, are writing it from scratch. That's why there's long pauses between conversation, because these people can't write dialogue. It's pathetic and sad. I showed you in the transition clip, Lan has a bitch fit, walks out, make dinner yourself. Eventually we cut to dinner. We cut to said dinner where they hope she's going to come down, but she doesn't. And eventually Varon, who doesn't have good people skills, gives sage advice how to open up, how Lan needs to be quiet and listen to what Moraine is not saying. And then Lan has a really dumb line. Somebody's telling me to be quiet. No, this guy, this dude at Lan, he is so talkative. He's not Lan. I gotta say, sorry, I'm speaking too quickly. Excuse me. Lan Al Mandragoran, the man without a kingdom, the king without a land. Lan accepts that he needs to listen to Moraine, takes the plate of food, goes up to the office, but she's not there. Where's Moraine? Oh, for some reason, she's effing off on a horse into the middle of the night. Yet as she rides away, and here's where we really get to the stupid and more lore breaking, she runs into a Fade. Yes, she runs into a Fade who knocks her off her horse And now we get this ability. Apparently, Fades in this show can teleport in and out of shadows into things. I know. Isn't that fun? Originally, they're just really freaking fast. They're fast and they're deadly. And they don't die easy. In this one, they teleport through shadows. And Moraine is so badass. Oh, I forgot to mention, during the dinner speech, there's a lot of affirmation about how great Moraine is. There's a lot of affirmation about her journey and how much she sacrificed. Forgot that part. But back to this. Excuse me. Moraine is so badass, she can track the Fade as it's teleporting in and out of shadows to exactly where it's going to teleport behind her, and she pulls out the dagger and one-shot ganks it through the throat. That's right, she one-shots the Fade through the throat. Forgetting the lore that Fades don't die easy. She should be dead, because even though she ganked it through the throat, it should still be flailing about and trying to kill her. Fades don't die easy, because here comes another Fade who stops her escape, cuts her across the gut. I laughed. Cuts her across the gut as she's bleeding out and it's stalking her. Predictably, Lan shows up out of nowhere, leaping. He must have run she galloped on a horse to get that far. He must have just run the whole way there, because I see no mandarb. No horse. He just runs in out of nowhere. He must be the fastest runner in all the land. No sound of a horse coming up. He just leaps out of nowhere, decapitates that Fade, and that Fade just lies there dead, no thrashing, died pretty easy. Then here come two more Fades. He picks up their blade, which I'm not sure he should be able to touch a Fade's sword. Memory serves, you shouldn't be able to touch a sword forged at Sheol Ghul. You shouldn't be able to touch that, but he does. He picks it up, and he dual-wield fights two more Fades in a laughably, horribly choreographed battle, and really dark. I apologize for these screen caps, but it's this dark when you're watching it. He gets his ass handed to him, manages to somehow kill one of them while being cut up to ribbons, and right as he's about to be killed by the third one, or the fourth one, this is the fourth one now, then Moraine looks like she channels, but she doesn't. Instead, it's actually Diversity Varen, and other Diversity Aes Sedai channeling it into the Sword of Water, whose name I don't know anymore. And Flame Sword stabs that Fade from behind. Again, dies pretty easy. And then that's it. As they're bleeding out on the ground, Lan and Moraine hold hands, and Lan says, "What aren't you telling me? What are you hiding from me?" Episode. Thank God.
What aren't you telling me?
There you have it, episode 1. Quick recap. Our main character appeared for 2 seconds, 40 minutes in. Rand al'Thor, the Dragon Reborn, not represented in your season premiere. This show, this horrible adaptation run by Rafe Judkins and a cabal of retards, hate Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. They want you to think that Rosamund Pike's Moraine is the main character, because the show opens with her. She's front and center on all posters. This is an abomination. You've seen, I've shown it to you in this review already. This first episode, how broken the storylines are. Perrin is running around inside Rand and Matt's storyline. His storyline completely forgotten. Nynaeve and Egwene are busy running around in a version of their storyline where they're having fun with a bisexual duo warders, sword training, and being told that you can achieve greatness by tapping into the dark side of the Force to use the One Power. And like I said, Moraine, it's complete fan fiction. Complete and total fan fiction. This is not a story Robert Jordan wrote for this character. And therefore, she is set up to not achieve her goals. her eventual destination and not even her proper romance. Because remember, they made her gay in this. She scissor me timbers with Swan Sanche. She scissor me timbers with Swan instead of falling in love with Tom, Marilyn. Yeah. So they have done everything possible to ruin these characters. And anybody that says, you have to accept this version of it, I question your love of the franchise, your love of the books. I question that. If you can accept this abomination, and if you can accept the horrible acting. The dude that plays Perrin is still a mouth-breathing moron. He's a horrible actor. Who might have his words? All of them suck. Everybody's terribleness. Rosamund Pike delivers a bland, emotionless, uninteresting portrayal of Moraine. There is no fun to be found in this because the fun of Robert Jordan is right there in those books, not in this show. I am now going to take a break, and I'm going to then go watch episode 2. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button. And if you're new here, check out the channel, subscribe. I tell only the truth. I do not lie to you. This show is garbage. It is not Wheel of Time. I'll see you in episode 2. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there. Who knows? @theranernerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.